Alrighty, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dare to Disagree, your weekly episodic podcast where we tell you exactly how to fix everything wrong with your life. I'll be your host, Jonathan Esther, out of California.
And this is a little in the dark out here in wonderful Colorado, the city of dreams.
And we're accompanied by Slow Chemical. I just figured I'd have to be the one to do it. Sure. All right. So I'm gonna shoot off my point very quickly. It's not really crazy. It's not really fast. It's Have you guys heard about stumps for Trumps?
What? No, not at all.
Okay. Is these two sisters with an A at the end of it that are kind of voicing the best way I can put it is like they're voicing the ghetto opinion of support for Trump. So like they're supporting Trump, and I'll post uh, the picture of these broads here. They're supporting Trump, but in a ghetto way. So they're like the ghetto voice supporting Trump, but it's the most ridiculous shit that I've seen in a long time. They're kind of taking all of Trump's ignorance and then just making it ghetto ignorant. I mean it's great to watch. It's fucking entertaining as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't even know what that means, man. It's just shit's a thing. There they are right there. The stumps for Trumps.
Are you?
And you're not gonna be able to hear the audio, but by watching the video, like the whole attitude and theatrics these broads have going on.
I'm not fine. Oh,
So
wait,
hold
wait.
on a second. It's gonna see that? So they're doing that whole ghetto thing, but supporting Trump.
I mean, hold on.
Like, I don't really know what that means that they're doing that shit. And honestly, I don't really care, but it just goes to show Trump inspires all races.
Well, he did say, and I quote, that he has a great relationship with the blacks. He's always had a great relationship with the blacks. So,
that ain't that ain't no fucking lie based on these broads, man.
I
I
don't
don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I just think it's
I wonder if they're doing this seriously, if they're like, hey, there's no real, black support for Trump, so we'll be unusual doing this. And hey, I mean, imagine if they were supporting Obama, you wouldn't, none of us would have ever heard of him. You know?
yeah, because but that's expected. I think that's why this is so entertaining because like you expect some ghetto broads who know nothing about politics to support Obama just because he's black, but some ghetto broads supporting Trump just because he's Trump, I guess. I don't
Something that cracks me up is just like Trump, they misspelled border too. So maybe they're
know.
That's the people who have the biggest problem with the border patrol situation and border situation, have the hardest time spelling it. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing. You would think if this was that important of a fucking thing for them, they would be able to spell border. But it's like nobody can do it, man. I don't get it.
But it's just like the biggest Christians, like some of the people that are the first to sit there and say shit. They've rarely ever fucking picked up a Bible. They'll quote the occasional verse that everybody knows, but if you actually ask them, like, have you read the Bible? They can't give you a straight answer for that shit. They've never read that shit.
I think that might have been my downfall from Christianity was somebody told me you need to read the Bible, and I had been a Christian for a couple of years, and I had read, I had to memorize verses in Bible school, but I never sat down and read it, right? And at that time, I mean, I read all the fucking time, I read, hundreds, if not thousands of books at that point. So when I read it, I was able just to sit down and go through the thing, and that's when I was like, wait a second.
Oh
this isn't. And then you bring it up, like I'd go to Bible school and bring it up, like, hey, about these babies that were killed. And then it was the most craziest answers, like, no, 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 you gotta understand, those were evil babies. Like, really, I didn't realize babies had that capability, but oh well.
I just always got the God works in mysterious ways. That's
Yeah,
what kind of turned me off.
yeah, I see that a lot. Because I watched the an Islam thread just because I'm always curious what is going on that these people feel that's important. And I'm seeing a lot of shit that I don't see from any other source. You know what I mean? And they do
Mhm.
have a point. Like a big thing on there is if any Muslim does anything good, you're not going to see it on the news. And in their defense, I really don't. Like this Muslim lady in the full fucking getup, this kid who was fucking retarded apparently ran out onto the train tracks to go grab this toy that she dropped as a train's coming. And this Muslim lady reached down, almost got hit by the train herself, and he yanked her ass out of there right before she got fucking hit. Now, that should be on the news, okay? But it's not. And if you think that that's not really a big enough story to get on the news, let me tell you guys a story that hit the news, okay? And it's funny because a friend of ours actually showed it to me. Fuck, I don't know if I can find it right now.
What
Anyways,
was it about?
you remember the shooting in Chattanooga, right? The local
Yeah.
news did this big fucking write up on this guy, I just found it, who was a potential recruit who, according to himself, was going to go down and apply to be military, but overslept his alarm clock. So
That
he
was
was.
the story?
They did a full fucking 3 paragraph write up on it, man. And this guy's going, I classified that as an act of God. And I'm like, that's a really dangerous thing to say after several people got killed, like, so God didn't give a shit about those ones, like that. I understand if somebody's a believer that that's your thing. It's just, it's a really bold thing to say after people have died, Like, what are you saying about those people who didn't get fucking saved by God by you saying that? Maybe you just fucking missed it, dude. That's what happens. But anyways, the funny part of this is at the very end, Hughesley tells us that he talked to recruiters since that day and found out he is overweight for the Air Force, but he plans on joining the Navy on the DEP program. So this fucking fat body overslept his alarm by goddamn. I mean, he was gonna be there at like 9 a.m. and he didn't wake up till like 1:30. And he's apparently overweight. And this is who we care about. Might run down and go get fucking approved to go in the military. I just don't. I don't see how that was a good topic for a fucking news source.
Yeah. That's why I don't bother watching the news at all, dog. I'm
But
pretty much I'm pretty much down to like watching the news only when like some major event comes that I need to see quickly.
if a fat kid oversleeping his alarm is newsworthy, I think some Muslim lady dragging a kid out of the way of a fucking moving train should probably get in there too. But I do see like sometimes the back to the original point, I'll see some Muslim people go like, well, wait, why did like one of them ask, why did God let us get this holy land taken away by freaking Israel, backed up by the U.S. and several other Western countries? It looks like we'll never get that back. And like these people are like, no, no, no. Eventually, we'll defeat them and we'll take it back. Like,
Okay.
all right, man. That's your plan. I guess fucking go for it.
Sounds like you got faith. Ooh, ooh. Actually, I do have something to follow that up before if you want to still delay your topic a little bit.
What's up, man?
And this is actually pretty interesting because I'm happy Slow Chemical is here because I would actually love to hear his opinion on this. He'd be the one that I'm really interested to hear in. But do you think? Because we all kind of grew up in chat room generation, and as much as chat room was entertaining to watch, chat room was kind of dicey. Now, Tinder is a little bit better, but is it a better? Had it been good for the dating scene? Because where I stand, I'm telling you right now, I haven't seen any of my friends hooked up through Tinder. I've seen a couple of my friends laid through Tinder, but none of my friends hook up through Tinder. Do you guys see anybody who's like actually built a relationship through that shit?
I haven't. No. I've seen guys get fucked, but that's about it. Like, the good way. But
Yeah.
let's see resulting.
You slow chemical? You seen it?
I thought that wasn't the idea of Tinder. I thought the idea of Tinder was just to get laid.
See, I don't know. I don't know. I assume Tinder because I started kind of mixing. I know it's not as detailed as Match.com or all that other shit, but like here's the weird part, the flip side of that. On Grindr, I've seen guys actually and girls actually develop relationships off of Grindr.
There's girls on there?
Well, yeah, lesbians.
Oh, I thought that was specifically a dude thing, but guess I was wrong.
It might be. It might be. I might be mixing it up in my head. But I've definitely seen guys develop relationships off of Grindr. So that confused me because that's why the Tinder question actually came to me. I just thought about it right now because I was looking at some stuff. I was like, wait, has anybody seen anybody get a relationship off of Tinder? And most people I talk to are like, no, they've never seen it. It's just a getting laid kind of thing. But I was like, but off Grindr, like gay dudes are getting relationships off of that. And I can't nail the difference.
Well, here's the thing I think about Grinder is finding another gay guy, which while it's not terribly difficult, is a whole lot more rare than a straight man finding a straight woman. So I think it just has a lot to do with, it's hard to seek out somebody who is a potential match and who also is homosexual like you are, especially compounded with a lot of guys, which I never understood this, take extreme offense if a gay guy hits on them at a bar and they act like they just got their fucking lives ruined and this guy just insulted them.
Yeah, it never made sense to me.
So this is just a chance for them, I think, to meet up where they might not have had the original ability to. With Tinder, I think both people, there's various sites you can meet up on, there's bars you can go to. If you're picking out Tinder specifically, you're just looking to get fucked. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, I've always been of the opinion that women are hurting themselves by acting like they should put their pussy on a fucking pedestal. Like, this guy needs to prove he's a, Superman and romantic and fucking intelligent and makes a lot of money. Then he could get at this. Sometimes, ladies, your back just needs to be scratched, and I think that's why Tinder's there.
Plus, I think it's funny. I don't think women realize when they do that shit, all they're doing is setting themselves up to be caught by the most devious dudes.
Exactly.
Most of the guys that they could actually link up with aren't the like not every broad that's coming up to you is a multi-millionaire. You're not going to match up with multi-millionaires. You're going to match with people in your same income level. So if you're only holding out for the romantic guy who's going to spend money on the date, you're going to get the sleek, devious motherfucker who knows how to play the game because he's the one who can sell that lie the best.
And I think it's terrible because a lot of women just sit there and wait for a guy to come fucking get them. It's like, it's just ridiculous. What else are you going to do that for? Go buy a car? I'll just see what car shows up and see if I want to buy it. A car is a big investment, but in all honesty, I mean, most people have a car for 4 or 5 years. If you're looking for a relationship, that's probably going to last longer. Maybe you should take it more seriously than you would buying a car instead of less seriously like bitches do, where they're just waiting for some asshole to show up and fucking tap the right tap dance,
It's actually funny you say that. I'm a victim of that shit, as in I'm the guy who used to subscribe to that notion. In fact, it's Slow Chemical that pointed this out to me. Back when I was in Baltimore, I had an incident where I was walking down the street and a girl called me over across the street. And at the time, I was so freaked out by the fact that she made the first move that I practically ran away. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it just completely threw me off my game. It wasn't until later on when I spoke to him, like, he broke it down like, nah, you fool. Like, this is a girl who took control of her destiny and was like, No, I'm gonna get you to come on over and we'll start this thing. I'll start the first move. So I just think it's funny because I'm like, I think it's just girls are just as susceptible, guys are just as susceptible to that mentality as girls are. To like the whole like if a broad steps forward, no, I don't know about that. That's or what's the worst that they do? Like she's kind of a whore. She kind of stepped up first, which is the most ridiculous way to look at that situation.
I mean, it's just a lot of people don't go out and get what they should get. You know what I mean? They just wait for it to fall in their fucking lap. And some guy made a good point. I wish I could find it. I can't find it right now. But he was detailing the differences between how women view getting relationships and how men do. And he said at the end of the day, if I don't jump through these hoops, there's a good possibility I'll end up dying alone someday. So I got to freaking go forward. I got to be the one pushing this thing. If you're a woman, odds are some guy's probably going to come up to you. Okay, if you're an attractive woman, it's going to be pretty hard for you to make it to your 30s, not fucking hitched, or not married, or not with a boyfriend or stuff like that. But a guy, he fucking could. I've met guys who are just too fucking shy to get out of their own ways, and they're decent guys. They just can't go up and risk getting rejected and get totally fucked over in the situation.
Like I was having a conversation with the wife. There's a At my old location where I used to work, there was this woman who would come in there and sweet mother of mercy, man.
What's up, Doug?
Perfect Wonder Woman would look like.
Oh,
She looked like that. I'm talking about fucking. The curves were just humanly disproportionate. It was unfair curves, dude. And of course, she was a yoga instructor and perfectly fit in Laguna Beach, California. And for the long, like, it was so bad when she came in. I told people at my job, no, y'all need to handle her. And they would go, well, what's your deal, man? What's your problem? Like, if I intend on being faithful to my wife, I cannot talk to that woman. That's not gonna happen. It's not for that level of hot. When that level of hot walks in, I need a minute to brace for it so that I can handle dealing with talking and looking at that bitch's face. But months later, she always came in solo, and months later, she came in with this fat white dude who clearly just with him for the money. But people in my store were like, "Oh man, that's fucking terrible. She just hooked up with her." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She knew what she was fishing for the whole time. She could have got any man she wanted. She waited till the optimal one she wanted, and she made the choice. Kudos on her. Keeping a body that tight and that feet takes discipline. I know. I'm trying to fucking lose weight. That shit is brutal. So keeping that fucking figure and that fucking, that semi six pack, like the one that's not a six pack that makes girl look like a man, but it's clear that they could kick your ass if you really went for it.
yeah.
Yeah, that shit. She used to rock that shit. Oh, it was beautiful. And of course, she only wore tight clothes. Of course.
Hold on, I finally found this thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was it. I was curious about the Tinder thing because I'd never seen it. I wanted to see if anybody said it, but Slow Chemical makes a good point.
Here it is right now. This is what I was talking about earlier. Luckily, I saved. This guy, what the question was, what is something about the male perspective on dating that your female friends don't understand? Here's what he listed, okay? Be attractive, don't be attractive isn't all bullshit. We've seen dudes do more creepy, disrespectful ass shit only to end up with the girl at the end of the night. If women really paid attention, not saying y'all don't, it's just something to look for, they'd see it's the same for them. They see some women do awkward, crazy ass shit and still have a dude return their calls just because she's shaped like Chanel. And it goes through another couple of them. Another one is a man can see you both as a sexual being and as a person. If a guy propositions you for sex, it's not a sign of disrespect. It means he's attracted to you. Next one, keeping the first 2 points in mind, the reason why guys don't pick up on hints, even once as obvious as sitting in his lap or asking to watch a movie at his place, is because if we're wrong, we could ruin a friendship. Not only that, but it taints every single nice thing we've done for you. Did he just do that to get in my pants?
Yeah.
Next one.
Hell.
Online dating is throwing your dick and maybe your heart at a wall and hoping something sticks. Repeatedly. The reason those guys aren't aren't forming two well-formed sentences referencing your profile, it's because it's really not worth the effort. If you don't believe me, ask that one male friend of yours that can't get a date if you could create an OkCupid account for him. Bet him $350 that you could find him a date by the end of the week.
God damn. Now
If
the funny.
we don't do anything, we'll die alone. If we don't take the first step, send that first message, or say that first, hi, my name is, we'll end up in a one-bedroom apartment, choking on a dinner for one in front of a TV, reaching for the life-of-load button.
Jesus Christ. It's fucking terrible. Now, the funny part is about the second thing you said, the one about like why girls don't, boys don't make the first move, or sometimes even when you're dropping the hint, they stay back.
Yeah.
There's another side to that. On top of that, guys are the only ones who can take a hint, like who might go too far. There's very rarely any danger of a girl being in a situation where she went too far. I mean, barring finger in the ass and going forward from that, I don't see any scenario where a guy and a girl hook up and the girl went too far. I've seen guys sleep with girls who have done some insane shit in bed, and the guy stayed to the finish.
Exactly.
Shit like ass shit. Like I know a girl who freaking was all about. Actually, no, wrong. I don't. That was an episode of a Blind Date. I just mixed it up. There was a girl who was into smells. Like she was into fart smells and stuff like that. And the dude stuck through the whole date. Like that shit wouldn't happen on the flip side. So when a guy is like really reserved, even when a girl is giving him all the hints, there's also that danger that he might be going, I might take this as a hint, and it might be the one that went too far.
Exactly. And then the thing is,
it's like white girls getting called racist. It's white guys getting called racist. It's the worst thing you want to hear. Is like you're potentially a rapist.
You will never hear a guy or a girl go, man, that guy is just a total freak and crazy in bed. I love it. You'll hear guys say that shit all the time, you know. But it's really rare to hear a girl go, oh yeah, he was just a total freak. He just did all this crazy shit. No, you got to watch your fucking back, even while fucking when you are barely in control of your fucking facilities anymore.
Yep.
You still got to be careful. You know, I can't creep this bitch out right away. You know.
Yep. I've been drunk out of my ass and still watched my moves.
Yep. But I mean, I think that's a good point. I think, and the guy says one more thing, which I agree with, is a lot of girls do this, where it's, I don't know you, I don't want to date you, okay? But also, no, you're my friend, I don't want to date you.
Yeah.
It's like, what fucking special unicorn are you looking for here? And one thing women do have correct is for them, rejecting can be a dangerous proposition. I've seen guys take rejection poorly. I've never seen anybody get, violent or anything like that. But I've seen guys take rejection poorly. But I've also seen women take rejection poorly. Okay? The difference is if a woman attacks me because I rejected her, I'm just going to fucking hold her hair down to the ground till she calms down. That's a totally different scenario, and I understand that, But there's a lot of women who go fucking crazy. Like, I had this one girl, I remember when I was at a party when I was a teenager, and she was a bigger girl. I don't think she was excessively overweight, but she was obviously on the higher end. At the time, I was dating somebody, okay? And she came up to me and asked me to go to a dance with her or something. I told her, no. I kind of, me and the other girl who I was dating were kind of keeping it on the down low. But I said, no, I'm not really. I'm kind of doing something. I'm kind of involved with something right now, This bitch lost her fucking mind, man. She told everybody that I, fat shamed her. I never mentioned her weight at all. If I wasn't fucking dating anybody, I probably would have fucked her. She wasn't big enough to stop me, okay? But, I mean, she lost her fucking mind, and I had a bunch of people who hated me for what she said I did to her, insulting her, making fun of her in public, this and that, who never even spoke to me. I would talk to them later. Man, I can't believe you did that. I didn't do shit, dude. I was dating somebody and I told her no. That was it. That was the entire conversation. And she had ran around and rallied all this fucking hate for me. So I don't know, man. It's a ridiculous little situation right there. And I think women need to do a lot better at making sure this works out well for them. You know, like Britney Spears and Kevin Federline are like the perfect example. One of the most amazing women of the '90s ends up with a total fucking loser. You know, she didn't go out looking for that. I'm gonna go get myself a backup dancer. No, she got that shit falling on her lap and she bought it. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was just the motherfucker to walk up and say what he had to say. So.
Because there's probably a whole bunch of guys just not brave enough, going like, "Damn, I can't." I mean, this is Britney Spears. You know, she's probably gets proposition all day long. He was the one fucking idiot who decided, and it worked.
I will admit, man, and this is gonna sound kind of cruel, but the dumber the guy, when I was in high school anyway, usually the hotter the chick. As long as the guy wasn't too like beat up looking.
Yeah.
The dumber the guy, usually the hotter the chick. And it took me forever to realize they're just the ones who are just too dumb to fear rejection, which made me laugh because then I was like, wait, I'm the idiot here.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good point, you know? Like, I would drag guys out who just were freaking out. Oh, my God, I can't do it. You know, she might say no. Who cares, dude? There's literally billions of women. If that one says no, you move on to the next one. That's it, you know? just keep moving.
What? Do you remember Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah, the pickup artist.
Yeah.
That was I like the yeah at the end there. That was one of the things he did the most, and I might have said it before on an earlier episode where we'd go to Irvine Mall, and literally he would go. It's terrible. Terrible. But here's one of the funniest things. We used to go through Irvine Mall, and before we'd go, he'd be coaching me in the car and be like, listen, when we get out there, it's not about quality, it's about quantity. And the first time he said it, I didn't really understand what he meant. So we went through that mall, and we must have hit up like 70 girls. And I'm talking hit up so many girls. He would hit up a girl again, and the girl was like, dude, you just talked to me like, and mid-speech as she's answering, he'd just walk the fuck away. Which, at the time, I was like, that is cold-blooded. But you know what? He would walk away with like 20 numbers. And at the end of the day, 10 of those numbers would be down.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with something like that.
I thought that was a lot of fucking effort to get laid. But then again, he really liked getting laid, so kudos.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? But that kind of ties. I mean, if you're done with that topic, ties.
I'm done.
My topic of this is called the pussy pass, okay, and it's getting kind of hilarious because the term's actually gaining traction. But it's about women who do shit thinking that them being a woman will save them, okay. And that's the only qualification for it, okay? Now, a lot of the time what comes up is women hitting men and then getting hit back. Which, listen, I'm all against hitting a woman unless she hits you first, okay? If that happens, she's fucking signed her fucking warrant, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just how it comes out. Do I think you need to be, you know, okay, she slapped you across the face, do you need to beat her into the ground? No. But a fucking tit for tat is good for everybody, okay? Helps her learn that maybe I shouldn't attack people who could beat the living shit out of me, and it helps the whole fucking situation. You know, there's some women who probably watch that who later on will think about slapping a guy and go, you know, maybe I'm not going to slap this guy, you know? But I think it's becoming, and it's especially funny with the whole feminist movement, because you would think the people who would totally be a part of that would be feminists going, hey, yeah, you know, they should be treated just as equally as a man. If I'm a 135-pound guy, a fucking stickly weakling, and I go up and hit a fucking bodybuilder, do you think anybody's going to go, he didn't deserve to get the shit kicked out of him? No, I signed up for that shit. You know, I'm the one who made that decision, not anybody else. So I think it's kind of a weird thing, and it's often funny because a lot of these videos, I was watching a bunch of them today. You will see a woman attack a guy over and over again. This guy was sitting down. She came up, punched him in the face like 3 or 4 times, laughed in his face about it, threatened to do it again, this and that, etc. Hit him again, and finally this guy strikes back, and all of a sudden every guy in the room is like, dude, you just crossed the line. You need to get out of here. I can't believe you did that. But what? Maybe somebody
I saw that video
it.
too.
That's what I would do. That would be my solution. If I see some bitch hitting a guy, let's take her down. That's how you're going to stop her from getting attacked. Not just letting her fucking continue antagonizing this guy. And did you guys see that video I posted on our little chat thing?
Nah, hold on, give me a sec. Let me look it up right now. Nah, man, repost it real quick.
Let me see. I should be able to get it to run. Well, shit, maybe.
What's it about?
But anyways, it's this. It looks like these idiots in line at like CVS or Walgreens or something like that, and they're yelling back and forth at each other. Now I have no idea what the argument was about. It doesn't. Whoever videotaped this started up there, seeing these two idiots screaming at each other. So who knows who was at fault originally for the argument? But this fucking guy, it was this big fucking, probably 240 pounds, 6 foot something black guy. And he wasn't a bodybuilder or anything, but he was a big fucking guy. He's talking, him and this white girl are talking shit, and she is tiny, man. Like 100 and something pounds, like 110 pounds maybe. And they're yelling back and forth at each other, both of them acting like idiots. She shoves him. The dude tells her, do not fucking touch me. Got it? Don't put your hands on me. She does it again, and he slaps her so hard that she starts talking at 50% speed, dude. Hand hit head, head hit ground, and then the rest of her body followed. It looked like a fucking cartoon here, okay?
God damn.
But at the end of the day, what person in their right mind would attack somebody that much bigger than them? Like, the only way you could do that is if you think that they're not going to retaliate at all. Okay? Yeah. No way. I wouldn't have fucked with that guy. You know what I mean?
It's like the guy in the classroom. You're the one you were talking about earlier, right? The one in the classroom? Or did you see that? Oh no, it must have been a different one. All right. So there's a similar video of a guy in a classroom, but he's actually way more tolerant. Like, this chick hits him the first time, the second time, and it takes her hitting him.
It was a black kid.
Yeah, where he body slams her. Yeah, he body slams her. And people online were like, man, I know she pushed it, but you should never put your hands on a woman. Like, bull the fuck shit. He gave her 3 passes. 3 passes before he laid her out, man. That boy is about as clean as you can get in this situation. And we're talking about, she wasn't just pushing him a little bit, she was hitting him and then taunting him, telling him he wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah. And that's a ridiculous thing, because another good thing that kid did is, after he body slammed her, the fight left her body immediately. He stopped. Yep. And you could tell he wanted to keep going, but he fucking stopped. Like, he slammed her down, she stood up, he charged her, and she went hiding behind some other people. And then okay, I'm done, and he walked away. I think that kid did a great fucking job.
Yeah. Now, the funny part about that story is, I bet you if you watch that story, they probably suspended both of them.
Yeah.
Which, probably because he retaliated, it's still a retaliation. I would actually not be surprised if they only suspended him. That's the funny part, too. But I think with that video, it'd be hard to argue that only one got suspended.
I wonder if I could find out. That would be a good choice. And that's another story that I was going to bring up to this whole thing was, there's a guy suing a college right now, okay? And the reason I saw it is because the news posted it, because he just got, a judge signed off, yeah, you could sue the college. Because he slept with the girl, okay? Mm-hmm. According to everybody, including that girl, it was totally cool. They slept together, they found each other at a party, this and that, they went home together. The next day, they hung out for a while. They ended up adding each other up on Facebook. They slept together again, like I think a little while later. Blah, blah, blah. They were friends. They weren't ever really dating, but they were social with each other, blah, blah, blah. 8 months later, she sees him kissing another girl and goes to the school and says that he raped her that original time. The school immediately expelled this kid. Not suspended him, they expelled him permanently. Now, the whole issue is according to every fucking witness, her friends, his friends, everybody, this bitch was never raped. Okay,
Yeah.
she got mad afterwards when dude found another girl, but she was never raped, and they immediately expelled this kid without ever investigating it, without looking into it, this and that, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of an issue, and it's, you know, a lot of, like, you'll see people talk about it, these false rape allegations, like, yeah, okay, it happens, but it's extremely rare. I don't think it's
No.
terribly fucking rare. I do think it's not common, but it seems to be getting pretty fucking significant. And an example of that, I don't know if you guys watched that video. It's one of those sovereign citizens or whatever the fuck they call themselves. It's these
Yeah.
crazy people who think that the laws of the United States doesn't apply to them due to the Articles of Confederacy that have been expired for like 200 something years. Okay, I mean, it's, they don't understand the law, and they're just trying to run around by some shit they saw on the internet. But this bitch is telling this cop that, no, you can't arrest me, you can't arrest me. And finally he's like, you know what, bitch, I'm gonna arrest you. You can take it up with the judge. Once he starts arresting her, she starts screaming rape. Now, to me, that is trivializing rape. Okay,
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
talked all this shit about what's his name? Who was that guy? That comedian got in trouble for the rape jokes?
Bill Cosby.
No, he got in trouble.
They wasn't jokes. He was actually raping bitches.
Oh,
And he's not a comedian. Okay, no, it
you're
was
talking about Daniel Tosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, Daniel Tosh is making a joke about rape, and we're all complaining that he trivialized rape in that joke. But a woman gets arrested and starts screaming rape, and she's not trivializing rape? You know, that's kind of crazy to me, you know?
I always thought that situation was really, really weird because most people can understand the response of the school. Well, here, I'm not going to say most people. I'm going to say I understand the response of the school, even though I disagree completely with it, which is there is kind of this weird undercurrent of people that are like, you don't want to interrogate a rape victim as if they committed a crime. And I think that's what happens. People mix those signs up. They think if we don't take action immediately, we're acting like we're passive on rape. Like, no, all we're asking is take a second to get the facts. Take a second to sit down and go through the conversation of like, look, explain to us what happened. Explain to us your side. We'll investigate it. Just because it's held on hold doesn't mean you're trivializing rape. But obviously, there are going to be those douchebags, like the old school nonsense of people saying stuff like, what were you wearing?
Yeah.
That doesn't fucking matter in the least bit. That shouldn't even ever come up in this conversation at all. It's not important. She could have been wearing a fucking G-string with no top. It doesn't matter. If she had said no, it would be no.
Exactly.
And John Oliver had a great episode about sexual education this weekend, which had a great point about it, where it was like, one of the big things to blame is kind of the way kids are taught sex in school too right now. Because there's really two thoughts on sex. There's either abstinence, which always goes, no, you get sex even one time, you're going to get STD, AIDS, yada, yada, yada. Like one of the videos they were showing is there's this broad going around taking duct tape and spitting it, clipping it to a bunch of people on their arms, and then showing, hey, look, if you stick this tape to enough guys, it doesn't stay sticky. Now, what the fuck the message in that is, I don't understand.
I would say what the.
Like, I don't know who wants.
It just showed you had some fucking fucked up tape. That's what that showed.
Yeah. I think the big thing was the visual of like the tape covered in guy hair, because she kept putting on guy hairs on guys' arms and then pulling it off, and the visual of this tape covered in hair was what it was. Or another woman was like, "You're like a chewed up piece of gum. You're not a fresh piece," which was the most ridiculous. Or if it's not abstinence, it's talking about everything except sexual safety. So they would talk about like the anatomy, how it occurs, but they very rarely get into actually like how to protect yourself because they feel like doing that promotes sex. Which what he brought up in the show, which was fascinating, and I think it links back to this, was what they should be teaching. The really most important thing they should be teaching is how to accept a no. Like one of the videos they had, like the guy was like, "Hey, can we have some sex?" And the girl was like, "No." And they would switch to the guy, and the guy's bubble would be like, "Does she mean no, no, or no, yes?"
Yeah.
And his point was, "Nah, bitch, we should be teaching him that no means no. If she says no, even as a joke, fuck it, move along. Why even bother until she says yes?"
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, these kind of things, people mix all the nuances up when it's really as simple as just fucking ask him. Ask him equally. That's it.
And I think the issue we have here, though, is like Mr. Code Conscience. I don't think he asks anyone. He just straight up fucking gets in there. You know what I mean? From what I've heard.
I've seen him look at a hijab like a tissue paper. I just want to get that off you.
That's just sealed in for my flavor.
I love playing peekaboo. I haven't played it in years.
I'm trying to figure out what did I do to deserve this. I'm just here. Listen. I'm just a black man trying to make it in
on a Power
America.
Rangers show.
Persian heat, dog. I'm just a black man trying to make it in America.
Persian heat, baby. That beat is still sitting on my computer. It's still sitting on my computer right now. I wrote the verse already. Snow Chemical trying not to laugh.
You know, I mean, I would say though, I mean, wouldn't you, Mr. Jonathan Esther, be our resident expert on rape? Be you from Africa?
No, you would think so, man. You forgot. You white people brought those anti-rape kits. Shit ain't cool no more down there.
Oh Jesus!
Have you seen those things, by the way?
No. Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
You
freaking
talk about the
yeah,
right?
yeah. Hold on, I'll see if I can pull it up right now while we're talking.
I could.
So yeah, now, all right, yeah, go ahead, pull it up then. Now for people that haven't seen an African, because I haven't, by the way, ever seen it used in any. Yeah, I've never seen it happen in any other country, only in fucking Africa. But they have these anti-rape kits that they take in some of the villages, mainly in Congo and in some of the more war-torn places, where this is an African rape kit. The woman inserts it in her vagina, and if a guy puts his penis forcefully in it, it gets
clamps,
stuck
right?
No, it doesn't clamp. Those fish hooks right there, they hook into his skin if he tries to pull it off. And the only way to take it off without permanent damage is surgical.
Yeah, but okay, I had a feeling.
Man, I'm willing to bet there ain't no way to take that off without permanent damage.
Well, permanent damage being the difference between just a couple of holes or the whole fucking sides of your dick shredded.
Now, here's the thing, man. I don't give a shit about a rapist. This is what happens to me. Fuck them.
I'm okay with that.
How many pissed off girlfriends or fucking angry women? Yeah, honey, let's fuck. And dude ended up with this shit on his dick. You know, now he's got a rapist dick for the rest of his life because there's gonna be these little fucking holes throughout his. What is your dick ventilated for speed, or did you just try to rape somebody?
You know what's funny? I have a story about that shit, and this is an African story, not an American story. When I was in Africa, one of these incidents happened, but this was a guy to a girl, not a girl to a guy, where a girl cheated on a guy, and the way the guy decided to pay the girl back was he put we call it a camphor, and it's kind of like icy hot without the icy. Yeah, and he put that shit on his dick and fucked her, and that was brutal. She had a rough time about it.
You know, that's another thing that kind of ties into the shit we were talking about before. Like, did you hear about, and I think it's happened several times, bitches cutting off a guy's dick because, you know, he's leaving her or he cheated on her, etc., etc.?
Lorena Bobbitt style, fucking evil.
You know, because a thing that happened is The View, which had those fucking old hens fucking talking about, what they felt. I mean, it's kind of like this, just with shitty ass women. But they thought that shit was the funniest story ever. Okay.
I bet.
And I think all that happened in the case that they were talking about is dude asked for a divorce. Which, mind you, if I ask for a divorce, I'm not sleeping next to this bitch again. Okay, like, so that was on his fault right there. Okay, but they talked about dude getting his dick cut off, and I'm pretty sure this woman threw it down a garbage disposal. Okay.
God damn, it's not enough to cut it off. You gotta throw it down the gun. I continue.
Yeah.
But they thought this shit was the funniest thing ever. Okay.
I bet.
They were cracking up on this show. And a lot of people pointed out, what would you do if, like, let's say a guy shoved a curling iron up his girlfriend's vagina because she cheated on him, or even less, she's just trying to leave.
Then it would be a heinous crime.
Yeah, what if he cuts off her fucking tits because she cheated on him? Now that's not funny anymore. You know, that's not a joke anymore. And I swear to God, if anybody cuts off my dick, that it's going to be a murder charge. Okay, there's no way. I understand I'm probably going to be in a lot of pain and I'm probably going to be bleeding to death, but I'm not going to be the only one dying. Okay, like we're going down. I don't know how dude let her get to the garbage disposal. You know? Like,
Yeah.
I would have been on her ass right away.
I think adrenaline would have pumped in there and it'd been like, you goat mouth mammy motherfucker.
There ain't nobody getting away with my dick after they cut it off. They're gonna fucking die that day. Okay? But I just, and that's another thing to that whole pussy pass thing we were talking about, is cutting off a guy's dick apparently is hilarious, you know? But doing these, like we hear about it, Nigeria, thank you guys, 2015, Lexus came out with a hoverboard and they just banned female genital mutilation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's from your fucking home continent there, Dave.
True, man. You don't want those broads too randy out there. Too many black dicks.
I don't know how, you know, that kind of shows you how culture can really fuck with the people. Because it's never come up in my life like, I want to hurt a vagina. You know what I mean? Like, there's been times I wanted to slap a bitch. I've never in my life gone like, yeah, I really want to, you know, just injure somebody's vagina right now. Unless it was using my dick. But it's fucking crazy, man. I don't understand how you could ever get to that point in your life. You know?
Well, are you talking about the mutilation thing? Why they do it?
Yeah.
Well, okay. The reason, and it's a dumb reason, like all these things are, is the mentality that think about back in the old days when women would get hysterical, and they would give them as a solution vibrators.
Yeah, they wouldn't even give it to them. Like the doctors would do that shit in there.
Yeah, personally, exactly. Same thing, but the difference is they think giving them pleasure is bad unless it's from your husband. So they're like, women are too randy and they can cheat on you. So the only way to keep them faithful is by cutting off the clitoris so they can't experience as much pleasure. Because we guys know what we're doing. We're not going to cheat on these bitches. Yeah.
Man, I thought about cheating 3 times today. That's real fucking talk right there. I just don't, I mean, I understand the point behind it. It's just crazy to me as a guy to ever go, I want to lower a woman's libido, okay? Like, and mind you, I'm a father. I got a daughter, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's a horrible thought. You know, me personally, if she comes out and says, "Hey, Dad, I'm gay," I will be so relieved. Okay, it would just warm my heart because there's a whole 3.5 billion dicks I don't got to worry about in my life anymore. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna try and hamper whatever she wants to fucking do, you know? And I think it's like, I can't imagine, you know, whenever I hear about a culture or anything like that, and the U.S. isn't safe from it. Like, it's been shown repeatedly that circumcision does nothing to benefit anybody. You know?
What's that whole thing that dads were doing where they were making their 13, 12-year-old daughters promise to be virgins in like a whole ceremony?
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah,
like,
same mentality, really. But the only difference is for guys in Africa, well, for the cultures that do that in Africa, you got to understand, man, people didn't even know women could come. And seriously, it was,
Wait,
you got to
They can't.
they
you
can't?
got to understand
I,
I'm
They
confused.
can.
culture. Hold on,
They
can you hear
can,
me?
baby.
Yeah,
They can.
yeah.
News to me.
in the in the culture, the mentality is only the guy comes, obviously. Well, I mean, what's the woman gonna come? Something? And that's kind of the mentality. By the way, the look on your face right now, Snow Kevin.
like Patrice O'Neal said, she knows I egg on you.
So the point is, when they were doing those things, they don't approach sex with a woman as I'm trying to give her pleasure. They approach sex with a woman as I'm coming to get pleasure. You're servicing me.
Yeah.
So it's a terrible fucking way to look at it. Don't get me wrong, but
Like, here's a question I got for you. Have you ever seen anybody concerned for the well-being of a guy who's a nymphomaniac?
nah, not even close. No, they're fine.
Nobody gives a shit. Are. You know what I mean? That's a solely female problem. Okay? Because not that the only ones that have that problem. It's because for guys, yeah, that's just what they do. You know what I mean? That's just how guys fucking are. Is they're looking to fuck constantly. You know what I mean? For a woman being sex crazy, they act like that's a goddamn medical condition. I call her a saint. You know?
I might have to find this thing. I used to know. I don't know where it is anymore. But there was this feminist who was a lesbian, and actually not lesbian. She was transgender, and she was switching from gender from female to male, and she was. We're talking about full-on hate men feminist, like men are the worst type shit, yada yada yada. And she wrote this whole essay about when she started taking testosterone treatment to become more masculine. She wrote this whole thing about how terrible she felt about men because she was like, all of a sudden, all those things I used to say about men, like men not being able to leer at a woman, she was like, I find myself walking down the street and fighting those urges as women would walk by me. So she's like, she's like, it's like living with a fucking monster that always wants to be fed. Because she's like, I don't even know how men can think straight. She was just walking down the street, and from the moment it started, it was just downhill. Where she was walking, and this girl walked by, and the girl's ass walks by, and she's like, she's a woman, she's an upstanding person, but she's like, at the end, I had to look, and I don't know why, I just had to look. But it's one of those things where I think we trivialize just how much guys do to be good people. I compare it, and I don't know if it's a fair comparison. It might not be a fair comparison. I compare it to almost how much some hardcore extremists like Black Panther or Brown Pride types trivialize just how much white culture has done to fix itself. Because all this social change wouldn't occur if some white people weren't there to go, no, we're fucked up. And that takes a lot of fucking guts. I don't think people like that get enough credit to stand up and say, no, guys, on the real, we have fucked up. That's what that lady did in that post. She was just kind of like, look, man, as much as I've changed my stripes on men, I'm not going to trivialize them because it takes a lot of guts for men to sit there and be respectful and be polite and have a conversation when the whole time every inch of your body is just saying, physically, I could just take this.
And you want to. And it's a crazy experience, man. I mean, like, I think that's a point a lot of women don't understand is a guy can totally love you 100%. and still go out and fuck another woman, and never at any point in time not
stop
love
loving you
to the extent that he did originally.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it works, you know. Like, and the reason I've told my wife this, the reason I'm faithful to you is because you want me to. Okay, it's not for me. You know, like if you said go get yours, I'm gonna fucking go get mine, and I will still love you the same way I did at the fucking beginning. You know?
When
And I think that's a big issue that a lot of guys, I mean, like, because I've heard this, and mind you, I've never been to France myself, but apparently in France, having a mistress is looked down upon, but it's nothing you would divorce your fucking husband over. You know, he would be in the doghouse if he gets caught, but you're not going to fucking divorce him for it. And I think those French women, and I looked up the stat, I don't have them pulled up right now, but marriages last a whole lot fucking longer in France than they do in the U.S. And I think that kind of has a point where, hey, yeah, okay, you fucking idiot. Stop fucking your secretary. Goddamn dumbass. You owe me fucking X amount of dinners and jewelry, but we're going to work through this. Because at the end of the day, I cheat for you, you know?
Alone in the dark.
To quote Patrice O'Neill.
Alone in the dark.
Yes, sir.
There's a difference. American men are too cocky. They go out and when they cheat, they not only do they get the fat, ugly person to cheat with, but then they flaunt her around. That's why women care much more in America, because it's one thing for a person from France or wherever to sit there. They'll at least try to hide it. American men have the ego of, I'm the man, dog. Look what I got. And you're like, hold on a second. Your wife looks 10 times better than this, whatever this is you brung in my face.
Yeah.
And they still brag about it. So I would divorce a guy too.
Yeah, you're 100% right, because look at, like, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods had one of the hottest women in the world and was banging a bunch of, like, sixes, you know?
Yeah.
Or Scott Peterson. You remember that guy who killed his pregnant wife?
Yeah.
His wife was fucking
the one.
gorgeous, and that girl he was cheating on her with was a goddamn dog, man. Like, I don't think, if she asked me to fuck her, I don't think I could physically get it up to do it. You know? So you probably do have a point. My wife has said one time, if she caught me cheating and the girl was uglier than her, she's going to be fucking pissed.
Yeah, my wife has said the same thing. But it's funny you bring that up, because I've said the same thing to, like, coworkers. Like, coworkers will come up to me and, like, how'd you meet your wife? And I tell them the story, and they go, oh man, that's why you married her? I'm like, no, I married her because she wanted me to. I don't fucking want to be married. And they would always act like, oh my God, how could you say that? I say that because it's true. Trust me, your man doesn't want to be married to you either.
No.
If your man could just date you for the rest of his life and not be committed to you, he would be. If he, literally, I was like, the greatest sign to my wife that I love my wife is that I said yes to marriage. I'm still happily married, and I've told tons of people all the time, like, as a happily married guy, here's my advice to you: don't fucking get married.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a terrible decision.
Steve Byrne, he's a comedian too. He's a funny looking guy. He's half Irish and half Asian. That's a mix in real life. But he talked about it. He's like, practically every girl dreams about her wedding day. No guy does. You know, you might think, yeah, it'd be good to have a woman around, but you'd never think of, yeah, I need to get married. I can't wait to have my wedding and have it. Because really, to a guy, getting married isn't a fucking accomplishment. Your buddies aren't behind you patting you on the back. Oh, good job, man. No. We could get married at practically any fucking time, okay? Anybody can. I'm not just saying men can. Practically anybody could get married at any fucking time, you know, if they stoop low enough. You're just giving up. I didn't have a single male friend honestly congratulate me for getting married. And I've never congratulated a guy for getting married, you know? It's just not a accomplishment, you know what I mean? For me, I'm not thinking about being married, but the only thing for me that marriage gives is it's a little easier on the paperwork side, you know? Like, my taxes are easier to do, and signing up my kids for school and shit like that. That's the benefits I get out of being married. The whole marriage itself, I don't give a shit. If somebody's together, like I had a friend, our first fan, my work wife, she never got married. She was dating her man for, longer than I've been with my wife, I think. But it's working great for them. They don't have kids together. They're not interested in having kids. They own a home together. They're doing everything together. They're running just fine. Marriage has never crossed their minds, never been a big deal for them, and they're doing fucking great. You know what I mean?
Now I am going to flip the script a little bit and say this. All this being said, and I agree with everything you said 100%, I still think the most romantic thing you can do is get married. Because you are essentially saying, as a man, I don't fucking want this, but I care about what you want so much. I'm willing to sacrifice this extremely stupid thing for you. I think that in itself is one of the most, I mean, as close as I can get to
No,
romantic.
Jonathan, you're wrong.
My man.
You disagree?
The most romantic thing you can do is give a woman an orgasm. That's something we care about.
I don't know, man. I'm giving women orgasms I didn't even like.
Yeah, that's the point I'm saying. That's why I disagree with that. I'm saying, man, I'm telling you, if we all agree marriage is stupid, when guys are not around women,
Marriage,
just
I
like
don't,
when
I don't agree with that though. I don't agree with that though. Marriage is great. That's why I congratulated you, because that way you're out the way. That way, because you're a disease. More women for me.
But listen to that. You're not congratulating me
I
because
am.
you think because I won. You're congratulating me because I'm
You
gone.
found a winner.
You got hit out in the game of dodgeball. You just got knocked out. You're standing on the fucking side.
Yeah, like congratulations, dog. You just stand there and watch me work.
I mean, that's kind of my thing is, and what bothers me about marriage is people use, and I'm willing to bet there's probably a reasoning behind myself why I got married, as I love you so much. You know what? Let's become an item together. Let's officially say we're together. I love you so much. Let's move in together. Man, this is just me proving my love moving together. I love you so much. Let's meet the family. I love you so much. Let's get married. I just don't think that marriage is a level up for anybody.
Yeah.
For paperwork, you know. If you're gonna have kids with your woman, then yeah, go ahead and go get married. It makes things simpler. You still can have kids with a girlfriend, and things will still work out. You're just gonna have a little more.
Paperwork to deal with, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just don't think it's. That's why with the whole gay marriage debate, hey, if people are allowed to get married, then fuck it, gays should be able to get married too. But in my opinion, fuck this whole marriage thing. The government shouldn't give a shit about your relationship, okay? I don't give a shit about you, you know? Just write down, okay, the whole thing about, like, if I could go see them in a hospital. Just fucking put it down to paper. That's all you need to do. Yeah, I want my favorite Jimmy John's delivery driver to be able to see me in the hospital. I want my mom to, Bill Nye the Science Guy if he's interested. That's it, you know?
Jimmy John's.
Hey, man, those sandwiches aren't bad. But
I don't know, man. I don't know.
that's my point is we don't need these official fucking titles. The government shouldn't give a shit who you're fucking, okay? If your kid cut results of it, okay, I need to know who your mom and dad are. Until that point, I don't give a shit who you're fucking. I don't care who you're going to parties with. None of that. That's none of my business. I don't care.
But this shit, marriage is like ties. You talked about your hatred of ties before. It's just a relic from the past, but there was a use for it before. That's all it is. It's like almost any other dumb. It's like genital mutilation. I bet you up until someone went down there and went, "What the fuck are you fuckers doing?" Those people were like, "Oh, we're doing God's work here." So it's one of those things where, like, I completely agree with you. I'm just logicking why it's still around and why it still matters. But I still think it's stupid.
I just don't think, it's not that I don't think people should think it matters. If you think marriage is a big deal, that's your thing, okay? You know, some people treat their fucking pets like they're children, okay? That's your thing. You know, I love animals myself. They're not fucking people. I don't give a shit, you know? You know, but at the end of the day, I don't think the government or society should give a shit about your relationship at all. You know, other than, you know, you had a kid, okay, you're this kid's mom and dad, that's that kid's issue, showing who his parents are. Other than that, I just don't think we should give a shit, you know? That's my point.
I agree.
And I think that will help because I think the next thing that's coming down the pipeline, and it may take another decade or two, but there is a big tract of, it's called polymorous relationships.
Yeah, polyamorous, yeah. I know at least two.
Where these people, it's like, I'm fucking Susie, Susie's fucking me, Joey, and fucking Ted, Ted's fucking Susie, fucking Beckney, and
Yeah.
these crazy things, which it sounds totally cool, except every time I've seen this in work, all these people are dog shit ugly, okay? But, hey, you know, that's your thing. But how are we going to do that? I mean, if a guy wants to marry two women, or vice versa, how can you say no now that we've allowed gay marriage? I'm totally for gay marriage. It's just I don't think that there's a proper way to say no if some dude wants to marry two women. It's all adults, all making decisions. How do we say no?
But here's the funny part. The polyamorous girl I know, she's actually Christian, and she justifies it using Christians because one little thing Christians forgot a long time ago, concubines.
Yeah.
It doesn't say concubines are a bad thing. There's nowhere, as far as I know, there's nowhere in the Bible where it says, from now on, no more concubines.
Well, and another thing it talks about is plural marriages there.
Yeah.
The whole thing, marriages.
Abraham had tons of wives.
Well, I think
and many, many sons.
I think Abraham only had the two. But David had a whole shit ton of wives, and God actually specifically told him, I have blessed you with these wives, and if you want more, just ask. So it's not like, a lot of people try and say, well, that was going on, and God just didn't want to, he thought it was wrong, but he didn't want to, step on anybody's toes. Totally God. Not about that. But, I think it's they have a legitimate case now where if gay people can get married, why can't a guy marry two women or a woman marry two men? The easiest way out of this for the government is to go, listen, I don't give a shit about your marriages. Anybody's marriages, straight, gay, fucking plural. If you have a kid, then that's what I want to know about because that's a new taxpayer, that's a new citizen. I need to just keep track of him. Other than that, go fuck yourselves.
Now I want to add a quick addendum to that. We're all talking about marriage in the sense that the two parties, or three, or four, or five, can consent.
Yes.
Because every time I get into this argument, there's one idiot that opens their mouth and goes, well, what about people that are going to marry animals? Animals cannot consent. Period. And we've already agreed on an age of consent. So we're talking about marriage from parties that are of age to consent. Period.
Oh no. I think I could see a cold conscience in like a plural marriage, having multiple wives, all of them fucking working at goddamn Giants. What do you?
All I need is one whatever day they bring and I'll lead the game for good.
That's my wife. That's my wife. What about in your country, Dave? Do they still have plural marriages out there?
In one of the villages by one of the tribes, if the chief comes over and says, man, your daughter looks so, yeah, thanks, chief, that's cool. And he goes, check this out. He has a string of bracelets he carries around. He just has to take one and wrap it around her hand, and she's his wife.
Yeah. Now
that's simple.
This ain't doing so good.
Well, there's a problem. That's why parents tend to hide their daughters when the chief comes around.
Hide your kids and hide your wives. Can you take your wife or snatch your kid?
No. Once you're with your wife, he can't touch them. If they're already committed, he can't touch them.
See, I think, because I was trying to sell this with my wife, obviously. I think with Islam, you're allowed to have multiple wives, but they all have to have the same standard of living. Like, you have to buy your second wife her own house and, keep up with her bills and shit like that. So that's how they kind of limit. There's no official limit on how many wives you could have, but there's probably a limit on how many fucking houses you could have. So they just let that shit draw it out like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Because think about it. Another issue is if these plural marriages happen, what if some people, just like 20,000 people, go, yeah, we're all married together now. Let's get all these tax benefits. That's some of the issues that come about if we don't just go, fuck marriage. Marriage isn't a government problem. Go fuck yourselves. If you got kids, we'll talk. Other than that, just do your own thing. Fuck whoever you want to fuck. Wear whatever rings you want to ring. That's not my business.
I agree with that, but good luck selling it. I'd worship at that church though.
Yeah. I know. I was telling my mother-in-law because she's going back to Packy Land soon. I was like, give me a whole group of Packy wives. I'll get them all their nursing degrees. I'll have a whole fleet of these bitches out here. I'll never work again in my life. What do you do for a living? Make nurses.
I make nurses and make
I
them
mate
pregnant.
them and mate with them. That's perfect.
All right, man. Y'all got anything else, or are we still starting to wrap this thing up?
Um,
I'm gonna assume that's a no-go. Sounds like there's nothing. All right, let's wrap this thing up then. Parting shots there, Mr. Alone in the Dark.
I'm just saying, if you hit anybody, expect them to hit you back. So make sure you can whoop their ass. Okay, that's something men have known probably since caveman days. Ladies, you kind of catch up. It's 2015. Okay, I'm
Well,
uh,
well,
I'm just
welcome to equality.
I'm just saying that that's one of those things. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, one of those responsibilities, if you hit somebody, you're probably gonna get fucking hit back. Okay, that's how this shit works.
All right, Mr. Slow Chemical, any parting shots?
Good job on getting married, guys. Great job. I'm proud of all of you.
I'm not married.
That sounds,
Well, once you get
sounds so
once
sincere.
once you get whatever the day may bring, you're gonna be married too. Great job.
Probably.
Keep it up, guys.
Touche.
Let him
Touche.
in Southern California, and some pretty little white girl says, "Okay," and that boy will momentarily, man. We'll be attending his wedding. We're like, guys, come on, call it.
Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah, cause guess what? Popeye's chicken gonna be there. Shit, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Is there
Fucking-
in California? There was
fucking-
Hell yeah, Pop. Shit, in Los
We
Angeles.
start way up north, dude. I had to go to Palm Springs north. But anyway, yeah, I could see Slow Chemical standing in the middle of fucking the hills are alive with the sound of music, just like all these bitches. all these bitches for me. Still single. Still single, free to mingle. All right, man, let's do this. Co-conscience, you got any parting shots?
Wait, so the show's finally over?
Yes, yes. Yes, it is.
I'm so happy. I just want to say thank you for everybody being out there. Finally, this fucking show is over because god damn. Let the church say yeah.
Why is this guy playing music like he's a black guy on the bus? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
I don't understand, like, legit. I seen a guy one time, he's playing music on his phone, but he had headphones in, but it was still coming through his phone.
You know, because when I went to go buy a phone, the guy was like, yeah, and this one's got a speaker here, here, here. I'm like, dude, look, I don't care about the speakers on the phone, man. I have headphones. I'm not one of those fucking guys. You know, we've got this fucking shitty ass rap music. Not that rap music's shitty, but whenever somebody's playing fucking music on their phone on the bus, they pick the shittiest fucking artist.
Yeah.
It's probably their cousin or something like that. They probably think somebody's gonna turn around like, hey dog, who's that? That's my man Young C. Everybody turns around like, hey, shut that shit off. Motherfucker, this is my mixtape, motherfucker. No.
Jesus. I never understood that. Why listen to shitty music on tinny ass speakers when you could just put your headphones on and not have to speak to people? Like it's so many benefits. It's amazing. You know?
But that's the point. They're not playing that music for themselves. They're being assholes.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, even when they put their headphones on, they still like to say every fucking word. I can't. If I could count the number of times a motherfucker has came down my street singing out loud, bruh, I'd be in California right now, heart and soul. I wouldn't even have to be worried about war numbers. Heart and soul.
Heart and soul.
God damn it. Purging heat, motherfucker. Motherfuckers come down the street. Yeah, motherfucker. Fuck the cracker. That's what I say. I'm like, god damn. All right. Like they yell so much, you think they're actually arguing with somebody. So you realize they just, grabbing their balls. They ain't got no shirt on. Like one dude just came out the house. It was like 55 degrees. Came out the house, no shirt. Didn't even decide to put a t-shirt on. They have a t-shirt, nothing. Just decided, hey, fuck it.
Right. Are
Fuck
you sure
it.
that are you sure you don't live next to Trinidad James?
If I did, it'd be heart and soul. God damn it.
All
Oh yeah.
right, my parting shot.
No,
Oh,
I
go
got
ahead.
you, folks. This new generation. When you go see the Straight Outta Compton movie, I repeat, they had a real issue. This generation coming up as idiots. Don't go out and say F the police. You will get shot dead in the streets.
Or
I
Tay.
repeat, disclaimer. Do not go out and do what this movie does.
Ah,
No,
is it Kendrick Lamar? Is it Kendrick Lamar?
no, man, it's a movie.
No, no,
Straight Outta
no. You know what I
Compton.
mean. Is it Kendrick
Oh
Lamar
yeah.
level? Oh, gee.
Disclaimer. Yes, disclaimer.
Oh,
It's what no, it's worse than Kendrick because Kendrick got it from them.
God damn. That's gonna be.
Disclaimer,
I don't know how I'm
folks.
gonna feel.
You don't have any heart. You don't have any of these real issues. Grow up. Do not watch this movie and think you are real.
Before
Yeah.
we go,
This is gonna be like Black Dynamite's Roots.
how did you guys feel about Dr. Dre's album? 16 or how many years? 16 years in the making.
Yeah, I was just about to
Compton.
ask. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Compton
not the Chronic,
soundtrack.
but you know, I don't
It
know.
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
I heard I heard it's pretty good. I really don't know.
I wouldn't say it's pretty good, but it wasn't bad.
I listened to it and I wasn't disappointed, but it kind of hurts when Kendrick Lamar put out Good Kid, Mad City, which is much better than Dr. Dre's album, and then put out To Pimp a Butterfly, which again was much better. And we have this legendary music producer who spent 16 years? I think I'm getting that number right?
Yeah.
Putting together an album, and it's kind of like, I won't mind hearing this on the radio, but I'm not.
Now, in his defense, the way the album came about, it's not. People are mixing the story up. What the album he was supposed to make for 16 years was, what was it, Detox?
Detox.
No, Detox. Yeah.
Detox.
So he was supposed to make Detox, but he just couldn't get Detox to sound the way he wanted. This is nothing like the 16-year-old album we've been expecting. This is an album that came about while he was making the movie Straight Outta Compton. Because while he's having his kids go through the issue, and he had a whole interview about it on, I don't remember what channel or whatever, but he had a whole thing about it where he was like, we couldn't get Detox right. No matter how many times I did it, I just wasn't satisfied. It didn't feel like 16 years worth of work in Detox. But this album is strictly inspired off of the Straight Outta Compton soundtrack. Those emotions, those memories coming back inspired me to make this album. That's why I called it Compton the Soundtrack. So I'm not making an excuse for the legendary Dr. Dre putting out an album that we're so-so with. I'm just saying that is an excuse for it.
Well, I mean, because I was under the impression that it was the final in the trilogy. If that's not
No,
it,
that's not the case. That's not the
okay,
case.
then I can't complain then.
Well, no, it's not a part of his trilogy. It's his final album, but it's not meant to be a part of that thing. It's definitely his last album. And don't speak for me saying so. I'm not giving my review because we got a show on Stitcher now. Quote, you know what I'm saying? So I'm giving my review on that on Stitcher.
He's down here with his peons on freaking YouTube.
Yeah, pretty much.
Come and give us little guys a little bit of shine.
You guys got a way to drop that shit? Name drop that? Plug it?
Yeah.
Why repent?
Yeah, why repent? I'm gonna do it again. We're the first thing that comes up.
Okay.
Even if you put it on Google and go through the search bar, it's the third thing that comes up. So we're doing some things. Like if I had a collar right now, I would pop it. But we just doing some things right now, folks. You know what I'm saying? We're just doing some things.
You can still pop the collar.
Oh,
I'll put you guys' link in the YouTube description once this video.
Well, actually, what I will say though, as a parting shot, what I will say, ladies and gentlemen, of the jury, if you get a chance, if anybody gets a chance to go see fucking J. Cole, do that shit. I got a chance to see him Sunday, and that motherfucker performed his ass off. Shouts out to him. That motherfucker is good. If you ever get a chance to see him, if he's in your town, go. It's the Forest Drive 2014 tour, Forest Hill or Forest Drive, 2014 tour, and go see it. It's absolutely fantastic. Motherfucker, when Tales of Two City came on, when that shit came on, boy, when,
Ants? Now,
when that shit
ants,
came
Indy,
on
brother.
last night, they pulled up on my niggas at the light like, ha, nice watch, running. I was
Nice
in there.
watch. Run it. Woo!
Yeah, in all honesty, I don't think he is as.
You got them long limbs too. You have to be all over the place.
It took a long time for that to come down. I know.
I don't think he's as amazing as Kendrick Lamar, but I like him a lot. Like I would listen to him before Kendrick Lamar. Like Kendrick Lamar, I gotta like sit down with a pad of paper, figure out what the fuck
Taking
he's
notes.
Then I got some good news for you, man. They've been talking about making an album together for a minute now.
Dude, I'll buy that. I'll actually pay cash money for it, real money. Unlike normal. But yeah,
But yeah.
I like him. I think he's a good. Because I got really sick of the 1%er rap, as I call it, which is everybody singing about how much money they have and how much hustling they do. And he's never really climbed that much into it. He really seems like a pretty insightful guy, Is
Yeah, no.
money ruining my fucking life? That's a good question,
Yeah, no. He's definitely one hell of a performer. He puts everything he has into the show. You can tell that the album was really an emotional thing for him to do. Because every time he's on stage, it's just like he's about to kind of break down on every song, just about, except for the real hype ones, slow ones, it's just, yeah.
Sound like that old school DMX, back when DMX used to make a prayer and cry in the middle of his prayer. Jesus.
I won't go through all that. But yeah.
I'll wait for him to come up here to Denver, and then I could go in the safety of all my glorious white people.
I mean, no, trust me, it was a lot of white people there. I'll give you that. Y'all showed out. And hold up, time out. The females?
Oh shit, he's playing at Red Rocks. You guys know what Red Rocks is, right?
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah. Like a big venue. A big venue, I think, in Denver or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a
I
big-
know that really big venue. You perform there, you pretty much you've made it.
Yeah, he's coming at the end of the month. I'm gonna have to check that shit out. Red Rocks is it's a natural amphitheater, Dave. It's built in here. Let me show you a picture of this shit. Built into the fucking rock face. Look at this shit.
I'm surprised you don't know.
God damn.
It's supposed to be fucking incredible. I've been out there. I've never been to a concert. I've seen it though.
That is gorgeous too.
I'm surprised you haven't seen this before.
Nah. I saw something like this, but this was the one in Italy.
Yeah. No, heart and soul. Something to say. Heart and goddamn soul.
Yeah, August 25th. I might try and snatch that shit up. See if I take.
I will say, if you do, go. I mean, bruh, the dude is a great fucking performer, and I mean, you get to stay a lot of females too, 'cause he brought them out. I mean, all of them, fat bottoms,
Win
bottom
situation.
heavy. Oh yeah, no, win definitely.
All right, let's shut down this fucking show though. So
All right, man.
we'll see you guys next week. We'll have Wire Pets Stitcher link in the description momentarily. Our little spin-off show. They're trying to make well for themselves, but
Yeah, we have.
Trying to. Sounds like we're trying to.
Now, NBL, run it.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
Good night. We'll see you next.
Boom. NBL, run it.